On December 26, 1900, a ship called the Hesperus pulled up to a lighthouse on a bare rock in the North Atlantic. The captain blew the horn. He fired a flare. Nothing moved. The 3 men stationed there, trained keepers, experienced, reliable, were gone. The door was locked from the inside. A meal sat half prepared. The clock on the wall had stopped, and one of the 3 coats was still hanging on its hook, meaning one man had walked out into a winter storm. Without it, no bodies were ever found. This is the file on Alien Moor. The Flannan Isles sit 17 miles west of the Outer Hebrides off the coast of Scotland. Sailors called them the Seven Hunters. For centuries, shepherds refused to spend a single night there. They believed the islands were haunted. They would tend their sheep by day and leave before dark. In 1899, the Northern Lighthouse Board finished building a lighthouse on the largest island, Alien Moor. It stood 75 feet tall on cliffs that already rose 200 feet above the sea. 3 keepers ran it at all times, with a 4th rotating on shore leave. In December 1900, the men on the rock were James Ducat, the principal keeper, a married father of 4, Thomas Marshall, the 2nd assistant, and Donald MacArthur, an occasional keeper filling in, known on the mainland as a tough, brawling ex-soldier. 3 capable men, 14 days of routine ahead of them. They had been operating the light for exactly 1 year and 1 week. When it went dark, the first sign came on December 15th. A steamer called the Arctur, passing in bad weather, noticed the light was out. The captain logged it and reported it when he docked. The relief ship, the Hesperus, was supposed to sail on the 20th, but storms pinned it in harbor for 6 days. When it finally arrived on the 26th, relief keeper Joseph Moore was sent ashore alone. He climbed the 160 steps cut into the cliff. He found the entrance gate closed, the main door closed, the beds unmade, the clock stopped, the ashes in the fireplace cold. In the kitchen, the remains of a meal, salted mutton and boiled potatoes. On its hook, MacArthur's coat, the wool overcoat every keeper wore outside in winter. Whatever pulled him out of that lighthouse, he left without it. Moore later wrote, "I knew immediately that something serious had occurred." The logbook added one more layer. The final entries described a storm of incredible violence. Ducat irritable, Marshall crying, MacArthur, the ex-soldier, praying. The last entry, December 15th, ended with, "Storm ended, sea calm, God is over all." But here's the detail that has kept this case open for a century. Weather records from Lewis, 17 miles away, show calm conditions on those dates. The storm described in the log isn't supposed to have existed. Board sent Superintendent Robert Muirhead, a man who knew all 3 keepers personally. His investigation found real evidence of violence, but only from the sea. At the west landing, high above the waterline, a crane platform was wrecked. Iron railings were bent flat. A rock weighing more than a ton had been moved, all of it over 100 feet above the sea. Muirhead's official conclusion, a rogue wave. The men, he believed, had gone down to secure equipment at the west landing and were swept away by a wall of water. It is the rational answer, but it has problems. The keepers were forbidden from leaving the light unmanned. All 3 going down together broke the one rule drilled into every keeper. It doesn't explain the code on the hook, and it doesn't explain log entries describing a hurricane during days of recorded calm. So other theories filled the silence, that MacArthur, The brawler snapped, fought the others at the cliff edge, and all three went over. That one man was seized by madness, common enough in isolated keepers that the board tracked it, that something older took them. Locals still believe the 7 hunters belong to spirits. Each theory explains one piece of the scene. None explains all of it. The lighthouse was automated in 1971. No keeper ever reported anything unusual in the 70 years after, except that no one ever liked being there alone. What remains is the scene itself, unchanged for 125 years. A locked door, a stopped clock, a cold meal, and a coat still on its hook, waiting for a man who never came back for it. The file on Eileen Moore remains open. If you have a case you want opened, leave it in the comments. And if you want to be here when the next file opens, you know what to do.